On a distant planet called Zarok, the sky was dark and filled with smoke. War had broken out, and the sounds of explosions echoed through the air. Aliens of different shapes and sizes fought against each other. Amidst the chaos, a terrible creature roamed freely, the war beast. This beast was larger than a house, with sharp claws and glowing eyes. It had been created for one purpose, to destroy everything in its path. The war beast was known for its strength and power. No one could control it. Many had tried, but all had failed. The aliens who had built it were terrified. They had hoped the war beast would help them win the war, but it only caused more fear and destruction. It charged through enemy lines, leaving chaos in its wake. The sight of the war beast made everyone panic. Its roar echoed like thunder, shaking the ground beneath their feet. In the midst of this destruction, a small human child named Alex found themselves alone. Alex had come to Zarok with a group of survivors, fleeing from a conflict on their home planet. But in the chaos, Alex had gotten separated. They were scared, lost, and searching for a place to hide. While the fighting raged outside, Alex stumbled upon a dark cave on the edge of a cliff. The child hurried inside, hoping to find safety. As Alex crouched in the cave, they heard the distant roar of the war beast. The sound sent chills down their spine. Curious, Alex peeked out to see what was happening. To their shock, the war beast stood not far away, its massive form towering over the landscape. The creature was surrounded by aliens, who shouted orders, trying to make it follow their commands. But the war beast paid them no attention. It seemed wild and free, completely ignoring the chaos around it. Feeling brave, Alex stepped out of the cave. They had always loved animals, even the biggest ones. With wide eyes, the child took a few steps closer to the war beast. The creature noticed Alex and turned its glowing eyes toward the small figure. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. The aliens were too busy fighting to notice the child. "Sit," Alex said softly, holding out a hand as if it were a friendly dog. The war beast paused. The aliens around it gasped, unsure of what they were seeing. How could this tiny human be so bold? The war beast took a step closer, sniffing the air. It lowered its massive head, tilting it as if it was trying to understand. "Sit," Alex repeated, this time with more confidence. To everyone's shock, the war beast obeyed. It lowered itself to the ground, its huge body settling in the dirt. The aliens stared, mouths agape, unable to believe their eyes. No one had ever seen the war beast listen to anyone before. The child's heart raced with excitement. "Good boy!" Alex exclaimed, not knowing that they were forging a bond that would change everything. The war beast, instead of being a creature of destruction, was becoming something else in the presence of this small child. The aliens began to murmur among themselves, confused by this unexpected turn of events. As the sounds of battle continued around them, Alex realized they might be the only one who could calm the war beast. The child walked closer, reaching out a small hand to touch the creature's rough skin. The war beast made a low growl, but it was not one of anger, it was a sound of curiosity. Suddenly, an alien commander shouted orders, trying to regain control of the situation. "Get that child away from the beast!" he yelled, but it was too late. The child had already formed a connection with the war beast. In the chaos of war, a strange friendship began to bloom. The child and the war beast, two unlikely allies, were about to embark on a journey that would turn the tide of the battle. As the smoke continued to rise and the sounds of war echoed, a new hope flickered in the heart of a child, and the war beast stirred, ready to follow. As the dust settled from the battle, Alex stood beside the war beast, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. The creature was enormous, with powerful muscles and sharp claws, but Alex had found a strange sense of safety in its presence. The child's heart raced, not from fear, but from the thrill of making a connection with this mighty beast. The aliens around them were still in shock. They had never seen the war beast listen to anyone, let alone a small human child. Some alien soldiers whispered among themselves, unsure of what to do. Others pointed, their eyes wide with disbelief. The commander, who had shouted earlier, took a step forward, his face twisted in anger and confusion. "What is going on here? How can this child control the war beast?" he demanded. But Alex was not afraid. The child looked up at the war beast, whose glowing eyes seemed gentle now. "You're my friend," Alex said softly, reaching out a hand to touch the creature's snout. The war beast let out a low rumble, almost like a purr, as it leaned into the child's touch. It was a sound of acceptance, and Alex felt a warm glow of happiness. The child began to play with the war beast, talking to it as if it were a giant pet. "Can you sit?" Alex asked, demonstrating with a hand signal. The war beast responded immediately, lowering its massive body to the ground once again. The child laughed in delight, realizing that the war beast enjoyed the attention. As the aliens watched, something strange happened. The war beast, once a creature of destruction, seemed to change. It became calmer, its wild eyes now focused on Alex. The connection between the child and the beast was growing stronger, and the aliens began to see the power of this unlikely friendship. But not everyone was happy about this change. A group of alien leaders gathered nearby, whispering urgently. "We must capture that child," one said. "If we can control the war beast, we will win this war." Another nodded. "Yes, the child is the key. We cannot let them escape." Meanwhile, Alex continued to bond with the war beast. The child spoke about their home, about the green trees and blue skies. The war beast listened, tilting its head as if it understood. Alex found comfort in the creature's presence, feeling less alone in this strange world. The aliens began to make their move. A group of soldiers advanced cautiously, weapons drawn. "Get the child!" one of them shouted. But the war beast sensed the danger. It stood tall, letting out a terrifying roar that echoed through the valley. The soldiers halted, fear washing over their faces. "Stay back!" Alex yelled, feeling a surge of protectiveness for the war beast. The creature growled low, its muscles tense, ready to defend its new friend. The soldiers, unsure and frightened, backed away slowly. Seeing the fear in the eyes of the aliens, Alex realized the power they now held. "You don't have to be afraid," the child said, looking at the war beast. "He's not a monster. He just needs a friend." The child's words seemed to break through the tension in the air. The war beast relaxed slightly, its growl fading. Alex patted its side, whispering sweetly, "You're a good boy. Let's show them you can help." With a nod of understanding, the war beast turned to face the soldiers. Its posture was no longer aggressive, but protective. It was as if the child had taught the beast to understand compassion instead of fear. The aliens watched in astonishment, realizing that this was no ordinary child. Over the next few days, Alex and the war beast spent more time together. The child taught the beast commands like "come and stay," and the war beast followed every instruction. It was a joyful time filled with laughter and bonding, and Alex felt happier than ever. As word spread about the child's bond with the war beast, some of the alien soldiers began to question their orders. They saw the change in the creature and wondered if maybe, just maybe, it was possible to coexist. Could they find a way to end the war through understanding rather than violence? But deep down, the leaders of the aliens knew they could not let this continue. They were determined to capture the child and the war beast. As they planned their next move, Alex and the war beast were unaware of the danger lurking just beyond their new friendship. Together, the child and the war beast had formed a connection that would change the course of the war. Their unlikely friendship was about to face a new challenge, one that would test their bond and courage like never before. The days passed, and Alex and the war beast became inseparable. They shared many adventures in the valley, exploring the hidden caves and lush forests of Zarok. The child learned to understand the beast's needs and feelings, while the war beast in turn seemed to grow gentler. Their friendship blossomed like a flower in the spring. However, the leaders of the alien army watched with growing frustration. They could see that the war beast had changed since it met Alex. It was no longer a mindless creature of destruction. Instead, it had become a powerful ally to the child. The commanders knew they had to act quickly if they wanted to regain control. One morning, as the sun rose over the hills, the alien commanders gathered for a meeting. They discussed their plan to capture Alex and the war beast. "If we take the child away, the war beast will revert to its old ways," one commander declared. "We must strike when they least expect it." As the commanders plotted, Alex and the war beast played nearby. They laughed and ran through the tall grass, the warm sun shining down on them. The war beast bounded happily, its large feet barely making a sound. It was a moment of pure joy, but danger was lurking just around the corner. Suddenly, the ground shook as a loud horn sounded in the distance. Alex and the war beast stopped in their tracks, their smiles fading. "What's happening?" Alex asked, looking up at the war beast. The creature's eyes narrowed, sensing the tension in the air. In the distance, a group of alien soldiers marched towards them, weapons raised high. "They're coming for us!" Alex shouted, panic rising in their chest. The warbeast let out a fierce roar, ready to protect its friend. "Stay close to me!" Alex yelled, feeling a surge of determination. They had come too far to let fear take over. The child took a deep breath and shouted, "Warbeast, come!" The warbeast obeyed, rushing to Alex's side. The soldiers advanced, their eyes wide with fear at the sight of the massive creature. They had always known the warbeast as a beast of war, but now it stood proudly beside a small human child. The sight confused them. "Stop!" one of the commanders shouted, trying to regain control of his troops. "That creature is dangerous! Don't let it near you!" But it was too late. The warbeast was now fully aware of its strength and the bond it shared with Alex. With a loud roar, the warbeast charged forward, its massive body crashing through the ranks of soldiers. Alex felt a rush of adrenaline as they rode atop the beast, holding on tightly. The soldiers scattered in fear, unable to fight against the unexpected force. The child and the warbeast moved like a whirlwind through the chaos. Together they were a force of nature. Alex shouted commands, guiding the warbeast with newfound confidence. "To the left! Now right!" They dodged and weaved through the alien soldiers, who were still trying to comprehend what was happening. As the battle raged on, Alex noticed something incredible. The soldiers were not just running away, some were beginning to hesitate. They exchanged confused glances, realizing they were no longer fighting a mindless monster. They were up against a child who had tamed it. "Look!" one soldier shouted, pointing at the warbeast. "It's not attacking! It's protecting the child!" The realization swept through the ranks, and many soldiers began to lower their weapons. They were no longer driven by fear, but by a new understanding. The commander's face turned red with anger. "Don't let the child escape! We must capture them!" he yelled. But even as he spoke, the alien army was beginning to lose its will to fight. Alex, feeling the shift in the battle, called out to the soldiers. "You don't have to fight us! The warbeast is not your enemy. It can help us all!" The child's voice rang out, clear and strong. Some soldiers stopped, their expressions softening as they realized the truth in Alex's words. With the warbeast at their side, Alex felt a sense of hope. Perhaps this battle could end not with destruction, but with understanding. The child urged the warbeast to slow down, and it halted, standing proudly beside Alex. In that moment, the tide of battle began to change. Some alien soldiers laid down their weapons, looking to their leaders for guidance. The fear that had once gripped them began to fade. They were witnessing something extraordinary, a bond between a child and a creature once thought to be a weapon of war. As the dust settled, the alien commanders could only watch in disbelief. The power of friendship and understanding was proving stronger than any weapon. Alex had shown them that there was a better way to end the conflict. But would the leaders accept this new path, or would they cling to their old ways of violence? The battle was not over, but it had changed forever. The friendship between Alex and the warbeast had sparked a new hope. The child and the creature stood tall, ready to face whatever came next. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow across the battlefield, Alex sensed that a critical moment was approaching. The alien soldiers who had once charged at them with weapons drawn were now hesitating, their eyes filled with confusion and fear. Yet the leaders of the alien army were not ready to give up. They were determined to restore their control at any cost. Alex stood confidently beside the warbeast, feeling the creature's warmth and strength. Together, they had become a symbol of hope. The child looked out over the soldiers, some of whom were still clutching their weapons tightly. "We can end this fight," Alex called out, voice steady. "We don't need to hurt each other!" The alien commanders, however, were furious. They had lost control of their troops and could not bear the thought of being defeated by a child and a creature they had once viewed as a weapon. "You fools!" one commander shouted at his men. "Do not listen to that child. They will destroy everything we built. Attack!" With those words, the alien soldiers fell back in line, rallying around their commanders. Fear returned to their hearts, and the war cries echoed through the valley once more. Alex felt a surge of panic but looked at the warbeast, whose eyes glinted with determination. "We can do this," the child whispered, holding on to hope. As the soldiers charged forward, Alex took a deep breath and shouted, "Warbeast, let's show them we can be strong without fighting!" The war beast responded with a fierce roar, a sound that shook the ground. Instead of attacking, it stood tall and faced the approaching soldiers, ready to protect Alex. The aliens were taken aback. The war beast was not attacking, it was simply standing its ground. Some of the soldiers hesitated, recalling the kindness they had seen in the child. "What are we doing?" one soldier whispered to another. "This isn't a fight we want." With a brave heart, Alex stepped forward, arms raised. "You don't have to follow orders that don't make sense. We can all live together." The child's voice rang clear, cutting through the noise of the battle. But the commanders would not let their soldiers back down. "Attack! Attack!" They screamed, their faces twisted in anger. The soldiers, torn between loyalty and doubt, began to move forward, weapons raised. In that moment, Alex felt a wave of fear, but also a spark of courage. "War beast now," the child commanded, pointing toward the advancing aliens. The war beast sprang into action, not to attack, but to create a barrier between Alex and the soldiers. With powerful leaps, the creature bounded forward, its massive form blocking the soldiers. The war beast let out a fearsome roar, causing many to stop in their tracks. "This is not the way!" Alex shouted. "We can find peace!" The child's words resonated with some soldiers who began to lower their weapons. But the commanders were furious, realizing they were losing control. They charged forward, determined to reassert their power. With a swift move, one commander drew a weapon, pointing it directly at Alex. "I will not let a child dictate our fate," he shouted, ready to attack. In that instant, the war beast reacted instinctively, jumping in front of Alex, its massive body shielding the child from danger. "Stop!" Alex cried out, fear surging through them. "You don't have to hurt us." The war beast growled low, a deep sound that echoed through the valley. It was a warning, a protective instinct. The alien soldiers paused, caught between their fear of the war beast and the child's plea for peace. The commander hesitated, his weapon wavering. In that split second, Alex took a step forward. "Please listen to me," the child begged. "You can change! We can work together instead of fighting." As the tension hung in the air, the first signs of change began to appear. One soldier slowly lowered his weapon. Another followed. The chain reaction spread like wildfire. Slowly, more soldiers began to lay down their arms, looking to each other for guidance. The commanders were left standing alone, shocked by the change unfolding before them. The war beast, sensing the shift, relaxed its stance, allowing Alex to step forward. The child's heart raced, filled with hope. "We can build a better future together." Finally, one of the alien commanders shouted in frustration, "No! We will not let a child and a beast decide our fate." But even his voice lacked confidence, and the soldiers began to turn away from him. With a newfound strength, Alex stepped forward, gazing into the eyes of the soldiers. "This is your chance to choose peace. We can all live together. Let's stop the fighting and start over." The battlefield fell silent. One by one, the soldiers dropped their weapons, a wave of change sweeping through the alien ranks. The war beast let out a triumphant roar, a sound of victory for the bond of friendship. In that moment, everything changed. The last fight had transformed into a new beginning. The child and the war beast stood side by side, a symbol of hope for a future filled with peace. The battlefield, once filled with shouts and the sounds of war, had transformed into a place of quiet hope. As the last alien soldiers laid down their weapons, Alex looked around in awe. The war beast stood proudly beside the child, its large frame a symbol of strength and protection. Together, they had changed the course of the battle. Alex felt a warm glow of happiness. "We did it!" the child exclaimed, jumping up and down. The war beast responded with a gentle nuzzle, its eyes shining with understanding. The bond between them had grown even stronger. Together, they had shown that peace was possible, even in the darkest of times. The alien soldiers, once fierce and ready to fight, were now looking at each other with confusion and relief. They had followed their leaders into battle, but now they saw the power of friendship and understanding. "What do we do now?" one soldier asked, glancing at the others. "We listen," Alex said, stepping forward with confidence. "We can start fresh. Together we can create a new way of living." The alien commanders stood in shock, realizing they had lost their grip on power. The child and the war beast had turned their army into a force for peace. One commander, his face twisted with anger, tried to regain control. "You cannot let a child decide your fate," he shouted. But the soldiers looked at Alex with newfound respect. "Why not?" another soldier replied, stepping away from the commanders. This child showed us that we don't have to fight. We can be more than just soldiers. The commanders looked around, seeing their soldiers unite behind Alex. Fear and anger turned to uncertainty. They realized that they could not force their will upon the people any longer. The war beast, sensing the shift in mood, let out a low growl, urging the commanders to reconsider. With a deep breath, Alex spoke again. Let's talk. Let's share our stories and learn from each other. We are not enemies. We can build a future together. The soldiers nodded, encouraged by Alex's words. Slowly, one commander stepped forward, his voice trembling. You are right, child. We have been blinded by our anger. We must find a new path. The moment hung in the air, heavy with possibility. Alex smiled, feeling hope bloom within. Together, we can create a world where both humans and aliens can live in harmony. One by one, the alien soldiers began to voice their support. Let's work together, said one soldier, raising a fist in solidarity. We can share our strengths and protect our homes. Encouraged, Alex turned to the war beast. We can lead them just like we led the battle. The creature let out a deep, resonating growl as if to agree. The sound echoed through the valley, a call to unity. As night fell, the valley transformed into a gathering of friends. The soldiers set up fires and shared food, laughter echoing across the field. They talked about their worlds, their cultures, and their dreams for the future. The war beast roamed among them, accepting gentle pats and curious smiles. Alex felt a sense of belonging, surrounded by new friends. This was not just an end to the fighting, it was the beginning of something incredible. Together, they could create a new community where both humans and aliens learned from one another. Days turned into weeks, and the valley transformed. Alex and the war beast became leaders, guiding the new alliance. They taught the soldiers how to care for the land, sharing knowledge about crops, animals, and the ways of peace. The alien soldiers, eager to learn, shared their own skills, including advanced technology that amazed everyone. As the bond grew, they built a village where both humans and aliens lived side by side. They named it Unity Valley, a place where differences were celebrated, not feared. Children from both sides played together, learning the values of friendship and acceptance. One evening, as the sun set in brilliant colors, Alex stood on a hill overlooking the village. The war beast sat beside them, its presence a comforting reminder of their journey. Look at what we've built, Alex said, beaming with pride. The war beast turned its head, nuzzling Alex gently. In that moment, the child understood the true power of their bond. They had faced fear, battle, and uncertainty, but together they had created something beautiful. Thank you, Alex whispered to the war beast. You taught me that even the fiercest creatures can be kind. The war beast let out a soft roar, as if to say, and together we can achieve anything. As night fell and the stars sparkled above, the village of Unity Valley thrived. People from different worlds shared stories, laughter, and dreams. It was a place where fear was replaced with understanding and where hope bloomed like flowers in the spring. And so, in the heart of Unity Valley, a new beginning unfolded, a testament to the strength of friendship and the power of believing in a better future.